there is no harassment. How do you believe this can save hundreds of lives every year? I mean, that's just a number off the top of my head. It could be many more.
Yeah, first of all, I think we have been as an organization at it for the past decade now. And just the last 2-3 years, just to see the amount of dialogue and conversation around road safety is really heartening for us as an organization. I want to congratulate NDTV and Diageo for taking this initiative, not just for a year now. I'm seeing this every year, so it's great. I think people who die in road accident victims, 50% of them actually die of treatable injuries. So they can be saved. Typically they die because of excessive bleeding. The Good Samaritan law concept basically looks at bystander care. The person who is next to the accident victim or somebody who is passing by should be empowered, not to be scared to call for emergency services. People typically die bleeding on the road. And so right now we have, as a country, we have a Good Samaritan law. Unfortunately, not much has been talked about it. Propagation has not happened, so people on the road don't know about it. So as of now, if you see an accident victim, go ahead and call police, go ahead and call emergency services. You can remain anonymous. You have the right in India right now to not hurt human beings. That was the biggest fear for any.
And are police forces accepting this? Has it dawned on police forces that they need to be sensitive to this new law? They cannot be harassing a person with that effect?
Not completely. It's a process. Typically, it takes at least a few years for the beat constable to understand that I will not be asking somebody for his or her name. This sensitization has to happen continuously. It cannot happen overnight. So, but that effort has to come from the government side.
Dr. Oak, tell us a little bit about the golden hour in a hospital. Why is the golden hour?
Yeah, it's so two things are important, as Sohelji very rightly mentioned. It's the pre-hospital period and the pre-hospital transfer. So one is you have to stop if someone has met with an accident and go for his assistance. Yes, you may be questioned, you may be detained in the casualty for some time. That's a part of that. Eventually you are going to save somebody's life. And that anonymous person could be your next and kin. It has happened at times. Second thing is, how do you transfer? Because sometimes unscientific modalities of transfer have rendered more harm than the actual accident has done. It particularly happens in cervical spinal injuries, lumbar spine injuries. So that is second part where we are working together. The third thing is, once a patient is received in the hospital, the whole culture of the hospital also needs to change from casualty, which is a casual approach, to an accident and emergency service area, where what is called as triage. Triage means to solve. That is done. And suppose if there are 5 or 6 victims, we decide which one needs to be attended most and first. You know, ironically, he may be the quietest of the lot, but he's the one who is bleeding internally and needs more attention, rather than the one who is making all loud noise about this. So these are the fundamental things. But in that golden hour, if you are able to stabilize airway, if you are able to stabilize breathing, if you are able to stop hemorrhage, we can save a significant number of lives.
China, thanks very much for being with us. The road safety bill is something that this government has spoken about, the minister has spoken about extensively. But it's difficult to actually get all parties and all states to accept it, because where does the funding come from? And so, despite the best intention to push this forward, it's not happening. Is this going to happen soon? Can we expect it by this government?
Absolutely, without a doubt. And I say it because I have the conviction that Nitin Gadkari is the correct minister at the right place and somebody who is championing road safety. You know, we lost some of our greatest leaders also, not as if it's a token to leadership, but you take Gopinath Munde's case. I mean, it was most tragic how he just lost his life. And I think that that has also been something that has been discussed internally in the party on multiple occasions. Not that I'm suggesting a life of a politician is more than the life of any other citizen. But you look at what Nitin Gadkari himself is doing. I mean, he has not just talked about this bill and championing the cause, but he has got all stakeholders. And correct me if I'm wrong, people like Dr. Oak have also been consulted. So there are stakeholders from various fields, and I think that what they have talked about and what Sohail said is so correct, that you have an accident, You have the immediate medical facility that is required. And then you have people like the Good Samaritans who are talking about the importance of bystanders. I'd like to question, even in a city like Mumbai, if we do see an accident, how many of us actually stop? All of us think, let's not get into this janjat.
Yeah.
Who wants to be a witness? Who wants to go to
So you
court?
wanted to say something?
Who wants to be a part of this whole problem and not realizing where you're going to go? So I think where it's important as a political class is also to give faith to the bystanders, that you have a moral responsibility, a legal responsibility, but more importantly, you're a human being. And this could happen to any of us, so we must participate.
See, there is a very critical thing which governments of today are ignoring. And whether it's BJP, Congress, they're all the same in this regard. Which is, when we were growing up, if you remember, we were part of the Boy Scouts movement. I mean, I'm sure girls were part of the Girl Scout movement. We were also part of NCC. One of the fundamental things that were taught were primary first aid care to people. All of that is missing from our curriculum. So even young children, who by the way have the greatest propensity to help, teenagers, they're the ones who are more courageous than the